The answer is no. The brand new Nintendo produced GameCube keychains with GameCube buttons are not the secret shipment we've discussed of GameCube new controllers that Nintendo seems to be saving for something bigger. Plus, we talk about if Monster Hunter Wilds is going to be on Switch 2 straight from the mouth of Capcom, new Mega Man games, Denpa, and more. So good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Hope you're all doing fantastic out there. This is one of my favorite shirts of all time. It's actually a Teddy Fresh shirt, but it's got such a sweet, like, old school comic book Iron Man all over design, and it's super soft, and I love the orange on the neckline. I think that just looks really cool, but I think you look even cooler. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hit that like button if you enjoy these videos. New Denpa has already sold over 100K. I find this to be crazy, but New Denpa is also a free-to-play game, so maybe it's not that impressive, but just in general, like, it shows how powerful the Switch audience is. You can put something out as crazy as the new Denpa, and you're going to get 100K players pretty darn easy. That's in the first day of the new Denpa launching on the eShop. Has anyone played it yet? Has anyone recommended it yet? Has anyone said, please stay away from it yet? I haven't seen any reviews or anything like that. There is 4-player local co-op. It's an RPG. What more do you need to know? It's also free. I think that's the most important thing. And speaking of free, wins are not free, and neither is doing the crime. That's definitely not the saying. It's probably something more like it pays to... You have to pay to do the... What is the saying? Crime pays. No, that's not it. But Nintendo posted this very strange and hardcore message that just continues their year of being absolutely on top of things when it comes to rules and regulations. Nintendo is locking down ROMs and all that, piracy, of course. They're locking down leaks. They've really managed to close down the hatches. Leaks, even from great leakers like Puro, have completely dried up. And today they announced that they had to revoke the Splatoon 3 World Championship from Team Jackpot, stating that they acted in a manner that is not in line with our community guidelines while playing the Splatoon 3 game. As a result, Team Jackpot's win will be considered vacated, and the team will not receive trophies associated with the event. Additionally, the in-game splash tag banner commemorating their win will be adjusted via an upcoming software update. Boom. That's how Nintendo handles it. And frankly, in this situation, I think they had the right take, because what happened was Team Jackpot had racist messages leaked from their players, and that is obviously not okay, obviously very wrong, and something that Nintendo does not support at all. And I'm glad that they took such a big measure as to say, we're revoking your entire championship, we're going to make a software update to change the in-game splash tag. Like, they went all out to make sure that Jackpot is wiped. They did not hit the jackpot. In fact, they hit the anti-jackpot. They now are no longer Splatoon 3 World Champions. They vacated the title. They don't get the trophies, and they're exposed as not nice people at all. Nintendo will not stand for this, and I'm proud of them. Oftentimes, I think Nintendo does like come down a little hard on some of these things, like when they're shutting down Yuzu and then the Yuzu replacement, and then trying to just make sure that nobody has ever any chance to do anything that could potentially, possibly, remotely result in piracy. But in this case, like, good on them. And good on them for putting out these sick keychains. I love these things. These are available only at Nintendo Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. Special vending machines that give you these like cool keychains. They started off with NES and Famicom. Now they've expanded into SNES, Super Famicom, N64, and GameCube, and they look sick. Like, imagine having a keychain on your keyring with just the GameCube C stick. Somehow, some way, that is somebody's dream come true. And I love the look of these. But people thought that maybe this was what we saw in that shipment of GameCube parts, buttons, and controllers that I tied to, and many others tied to, the potential launch of a GameCube Virtual Console on Nintendo Switch Online. But it seems like after comparing the data and what these keychains are classified as versus how they classified whatever GameCube controllers are in this shipment, it shows that they are not the same thing. So if you see anyone saying that these GameCube keychains, despite being super cool, are what Nintendo was shipping, GameCube related, not the case. They're doing something else with the GameCube controller, and we still do not know what that is. We've seen no result of what that could be. There's no new GameCube anything announced, and I am now at this point starting to believe that maybe it's being saved for 2025 and a GameCube update to Nintendo Switch Online. Nonetheless, these keychains are sick. I might have to see if I can get one some way. I really love the look, and I really love the idea of having like a GameCube C-Stick just always with you to play with and move, and I don't know, just remember how weird that era was. Now, Monster Hunter Wilds is not a weird title. It is a wonderful title, and it is going to be the follow-up to Monster Hunter Worlds, which was the biggest Monster Hunter of all time. Monster Hunter Rise, obviously phenomenal on Switch, but it was a world that really transformed this series from something more niche to something much more mainstream, and Monster Hunter Wilds launching in early 2025 is definitely going to capitalize on that and try to take things to an even further level with a next-gen game that is currently on PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. Now, Capcom had a Q&A meeting with their shareholders, kind of like Nintendo does, where they address different updates, the future, the next fiscal year, and answer questions from those that support them. And they were asked about Monster Hunter Wilds on Nintendo Switch. Now, this is a very interesting answer, and I want you to pay close attention to the verbiage and the words they specifically chose. One concept we've incorporated into this title is aiming to portray the maximum of the world of Monster Hunter by utilizing the latest technology to its limit. To that end, the platforms capable of realizing that concept are currently PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Going forward, we will provide more thorough details regarding these concepts and themes when we release information on the game. We hope you look forward to it. Currently, and zoom in, because currently means that, hey, we want to use platforms that allow us to utilize the latest technology and take it to the limit to portray the maximum world of Monster Hunter. Currently, those platforms are PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Currently. Obviously, Capcom knows there's not a big new console from PlayStation or Xbox or PC or Sega or someone random that's going to drop between now and Monster Hunter Wild. But there could be a Nintendo Switch 2 that drops, and that's why I believe they're saying currently versus just these are the platforms that it's on. They make sure to include the word currently to give them leeway and the opening to later announce it for Switch and not be going back on their word. I really do believe that Monster Hunter Wilds will eventually be on Switch 2. If not straight at launch, it'll be a launch window game for the platform. I think that even if the day and date don't match up with the other consoles, it is a huge game, and we know that Capcom loves Nintendo. They've put a ton of effort into porting games to their platform this generation. They gave them Monster Hunter Rise as a timed exclusive, which was a huge gift to the Switch and its third-party games library. I think it's absolutely just a matter of when, not if, about Monster Hunter Wilds on Switch, and I think this answer illuminates that even more so. Not on Switch 1, and they make clear to clarify that currently it can't run on Switch 1 by omitting it from that list. But Switch 2, who's to say? I think with the power that the Switch 2 is purported to have, as well as their DLSS algorithmic learning technology, it should not be too much of a struggle to get this thing working on the next console whenever that drops, and that's freaking great. I think we're going to see a bunch of major third-party titles appear on Switch 2, even games that would not have been possible on Switch 1, or franchises that never got to see the light of day on Switch 1. We're talking Call of Duty, we're talking things like Far Cry. Who knows how far it'll go, but Monster Hunter Wilds, I would bet my lunch money that this game does end up on Switch 2 eventually. Now, Mega Man is another major Capcom title, and one that I think we can all but guarantee would be on Switch whenever it comes back again. Mega Man hasn't been around for a while, last seen in Mega Man 11 in 2018. 6 years since a new mainline entry, and even though Capcom has supported the franchise by introducing the Game Boy games on NSO and bringing the Battle Network collection to Nintendo Switch and other platforms, there has not been much new on the Blue Bomber front. This character is freaking fantastic and deserves a lot of limelight, and I'm surprised we haven't seen him lately. But I do wonder if Capcom is trying to make a bigger game. Obviously, we have the side-scrolling Mega Man 8, 9, 10, 11 franchise, and they can continue that with Mega Man 12, but what if maybe they're looking to build something bigger? Capcom did say that they obviously value Mega Man as one of their most highly valued IPs, and they're always considering how to create games for it on an ongoing basis. How will he return? Do you think it's possible that Mega Man could go the 3D route in the same way that we've seen evolutionary steps taken for characters like Kirby and Link and Mario and more? Could Mega Man get a significant upgrade and be a tentpole title on, say, Nintendo Switch 2? I think that would be super awesome. And we know that these companies love to bring back old games, they love to bring back old characters, they love to bring back old franchises that they can rely on for consistent sales. I believe Mega Man has had consistent sales throughout most of its life cycle, and I think a big 3D like AAA Mega Man would be pretty sweet. Capcom has had insane success lately with the Resident Evil franchise, the Monster Hunter franchise, and more. They are just on the top of their game lately, over and over again. I think Resident Evil Village is fantastic. I think Monster Hunter Rise is fantastic. A new Mega Man, whether it is side-scrolling or 3D, would be fantastic, but I'd love to see Capcom push the envelope. I do think that Capcom will be one of the most important developers and important publishers going forward for not only Nintendo, but for the gaming industry as a whole. Look, we get so many redos, so many remasters, and Capcom's no stranger. They brought back Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4. They bring back Mega Man time and time again. But they also invest heavily in bringing these franchises to the forefront in a new, futuristic way with new entries. Resident Evil has evolved, sometimes first person, sometimes mixing up the gameplay. Monster Hunter has evolved to be much more seamless, much more mainstream, and much more massive. Online multiplayer has been incorporated in very awesome ways, and Mega Man maybe is now due next for this type of treatment. I love Capcom, what they're doing lately, and they are a big fan of Nintendo, so that makes me a big fan of them. Are you excited for Monster Hunter Wilds on Switch 2? Would that be one of the first games you want to buy? And how do you feel about Mega Man going more 3D and more of a big, like, even open world style adventure? If Sonic can do it, if Mario can do it, if Kirby can do it, so can this guy. So can Dr. Light's greatest creation alongside Rush, Roll, and of course, Dr. Wily, the guy we don't like, but I like all of you. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.